Hello YouTube, I am Southern Wolverine, and this is Operation Laythe, coming back to you from the Kerbal Space Center. You remember last time we were prepping for our first mission to another body on our way to Duna. So we put our transfer vehicle in orbit, and I built a refueler, although it occurred to me, after the fact, that if I build my lander, put it on our standard launch vehicle, I should have plenty of extra fuel, and I can just use this to refuel the thing. So we're going to try to do this in just one shot. Refuel the transfer vehicle and attach a lander. But first, I want to check the operation of this lander. So I've got this vehicle saved, so I'm just going to pull off the lower stage, extend the gear like so, and I'm going to use this opportunity also to check that all my solar panels are going to extend. Let me see if I can't make them work this time. Remember last time, or previously, we've had some trouble getting them all to deploy, which is a problem I actually haven't had before, so it surprised me a little bit. But in any case, we're going to let, it'll probably be Jebediah in the capsule here, and we're going to let him attempt a launch with this and see how well we do. And recalling that, of course, any test that we do here on Kerban is going to be a very conservative test, as Duna has much less gravity and atmosphere. So we're just going to see how well this runs. I'm not bothering with the asparagus style staging this time, and we'll do a quick solar panel check. Yep, looks good. And it may seem like there's a lot of parachutes on here, but you gotta remember, Duna having less atmosphere is going to provide less drag. So we got 4 of these big drogue chutes and 8 of these radial chutes. We also have 2 of these chutes, the radial ones, up on the lander, but this is the portion that's intended to return to Kerban, and I want to use those chutes for that purpose. Alright, so let's do our test launch here. Alright, hang in there, Jeb. We're just going to go full throttle. Actually, here, let's do it the way we'll do it on Duna. We'll have those engines already active, probably. So we're going to fire them up from 0. Let's see if this baby lifts off. Okay. it's moving kind of slow. Kind of slow. Alright, so let's just, let's see how well it does. I figure if I can get this thing up to 55, 60,000 meters or so on Kerban, if I can get even close to Kerban orbit, I will easily make Duna orbit. It is accelerating fairly slowly, but it does have a significant percentage of its weight as fuel, so as we burn it, we should accelerate faster and faster. Quite stable too, that's good news. With just the capsule SAS and the gimbaling engines, we're not having any trouble keeping this upright without even touching the keyboard. So yeah, I guess while we're flying, I might as well go through the characteristics of these landers. See, I've got RCS clusters here, got some batteries in addition to the solar panels. Disconnect here so that just this portion can come home after all the nice juicy science has been stored there. We have take off without getting that science back into the pod and not worry about losing it. Alright, so we're gonna get ready to throw these overboard. Farewell. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Uh-oh. Well, that'll actually make this even a more conservative test. Of course the parachutes were staged before my disconnects, because the whole idea is to use those the parachutes on the way down and the disconnects on the way up. Oops. Well, if anything, that makes this test more conservative. Whew. That was exciting. Well, none of those stages are reusable, right? Because they're descending on their own parachutes. Well, it's still picking up, and we're not using the fuel in this very quickly, which is nice. Even though there's only one normal-sized tank. Going slow. Come on, Jeb. So I turned the throttle on, except we're already maxed out. Now we've gotten out of the middle atmosphere and we're up in the upper atmosphere, so we can do that on Kerban. I believe the atmosphere on Dune was only about 50,000 meters, and the gravity is something like 1/3 of Kerban's. So this, while we're nowhere close to Kerban orbit, is actually somewhat promising for Duna. Well, it's not getting quite as high as I would have liked. We're getting quite a bit of burn out of it. Oof, I still think this will be the design. We've gotten up to 40,000. If we can do that here, we can probably get to 50 plus on Duna and get circularized. I would have liked to have a little more margin on this launcher. I really don't want to put the big engines on here because the larger engines mean you're more likely to hit them when you make a landing attempt. Okay, so that's out of fuel. Well, I think I'll still roll the dice. Alright, I don't want to wait for this to come all the way back down, so we're just going to revert to flight, back to the vehicle assembly building. We'll just reload our lander and make sure that my group is still set up. So let's just reset it up because we know that it worked when I did that. There we go. Alright, so before we go, I want to check on a few things. We're going to go ahead and exit out of the vehicle assembly building, head over to the tracking station. Don't need to see all those flags. Alright, so the transfer vehicles obviously in a decent orbit for us as we set that up last time. I just want to check on where Duna is relative to us. Oh, that's actually not bad. Because from what I've seen and what I've done before, you want to launch about 90 degrees behind Duna when you're trying to catch up to it. So we should be able to launch up, do our rendezvous with plenty of time, and then do our transfer burn, and we'll meet it, somewhere out here. So we just lucked out on the timing there. That's just about right. And by lucked out, I mean I totally planned that, and that's exactly what I wanted to happen. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and grab this bad boy, and we get to assign our pilot. You're out, Jeb. I'm sorry. So we had all the usual suspects, but no, it's Corbus Kerman. brand new inductee to the Kerbal Space Program, Operation Laythe. And he's very brave, and he's only slightly stupid. So we're going to give him a chance to be the first Kerban to set foot on another planet. Alright, to the launch pad! Alright, so here we go. Now this payload, even with all the fuel in it, should be a lot lighter than the big transfer vehicle we launched before, and we got the same launch stage. So this should get into orbit easily. And like I said, have extra fuel there. Now you'll notice I have this, I've got RCS fuel and RCS thrusters on here. I plan to maneuver this whole thing to dock, obviously, so that I can transfer fuel from this launch stage. If that proves difficult to do, I can always detach this, dock it per the original plan, and then just bring up the fueling mission as originally planned. You'll see also there's this unmanned capsule here, so that once this detaches from the lander, I can grab it and fly it away and return it to Kerban's surface potentially, or at least get it away from the transfer vehicle, so it's not orbiting nearby while we're waiting for our window for our Duna transfer. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set a transfer vehicle as the target. We're going to let it come around. We have a nice early morning launch too. This is perfect. Perfect! Okay, okay, and real time. Okay, here we go. We'll go about just past 2/3 throttle, because the solid rocket booster are going to do a good chunk of the work. And 3, 2, 1, blast off! Kerbal begins the first leg of what we hope will be a historic journey with absolutely no catastrophes whatsoever. Alright. So far so good. We know this launch vehicle works. Ooh, I like that, with the shadow zipping away from the Kerbal Space Center. See that for? No! Not very long. We're going to lose it when it goes over that hill. Oh well, that was fun while it lasted. Alright. We're preparing to eject the solid boosters. There we go. Throttle up a little bit. Prepare to eject the first pair of boosters. There they go. And we proceed onward and upward into Kerbal history. Or something. I have to work on my random dramatic speech generator, I think. That's what happens when I try to make them up on the spot. I can afford to give that a little more throttle, I think. So this is at 80 to 81 kilometers above the surface, so we want to try to get in below that. Since I didn't time this quite as well as I could have, it's actually going to be out ahead of us farther than I wanted. So I'll have to drop in just over 70 kilometers and catch up to it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and begin our gravity turn. Easy. Got a little bit of a roll picked up there. Still cannot entirely seem to kill off the roll no matter what I do with the design or with my flights. It always seems to pick up just that little bit of a roll even when it's completely symmetric and only the center engine is gimping. I can't really figure out why that is. It could be a low-level glitch in the game or something that just causes that to happen. I don't understand that. But in any case, it's easy to correct for. And it tends to die out once you lose all these extra stages. So you see now the gimbal looks kind of backwards because we kind of rolled over 180 degrees. Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit disconcerting. Yeah, we're going to have to probably orbit. I timed this poorly. We're going to probably have to orbit a couple times to catch up to it. But when we get to that point, I'll cut that out so we don't have to watch me fast forwarding repeatedly. But that's rising nicely. Well, it flattened out a little bit before I would have liked. So now we got our, can't quite see it this high in the atmosphere, but our trail is going out that direction. We really would like it to be here. That means you're doing the most efficient work possible. Alright, so now we're getting out of the deep atmosphere, or the middle atmosphere. So I'm going to lay it down a little more and come over and keep an eye on our orbit. So our standard launch trajectory, staying on the 90. This Duna, fortunately, is in the plane of the ecliptic, which is to say the same plane as Kerban is, relative to the Sun. So we won't have to do any inclination burns, although we may have to do a small one as a correction or something. Because if we come out of Kerban's, you know, on our transfer burn, if we come out even a degree or two off, it could end us up in a weird polar orbit on Duna, which will make it hard to perform some of our you know, our recovery mission as we try to get off of Duna and back to the transfer vehicle. So we want to come out of Kerban as clean as possible. So there may be a small, you know, solar orbital correction burn. Oh, I should get rid of those. Just wasting fuel, carrying extra weight. In any case, we have to do a small inclination correction burn, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Alright. I got a little bit of an inclination here that we're going to have to take care of. Yeah, this could have been timed better. Oh well. We'll let that come up to 75 or so, just to make sure I got a little bit of a window. Oh, it's giving me an intercept, although it's kind of a crappy one. Alright, it shouldn't take much to circularize this. We'll leave that at about 73. And we're damn near circular, so it shouldn't be too bad. No, we're going to need a little more than that. Oops, I changed my focus to Kerban by accident. I do that all the time when you're close to a planet. Alright, so there we go. That'll get us about as low as we can be without dipping back into the atmosphere. Oh, come on. This thing is still quite heavy and does not really want to turn. Oh, because I don't have any of those large SAS modules left. I could turn on the RCS. Yeah, see, I have it telling not to draw from this one, so I'm trying to save that. So I can go ahead and use SAS. There should be plenty in here. Oh, now we got the space music. There we go. That's maneuvering a lot better now. There we go. Okay. And we'll do our burn at T-minus 16. And prepare for our rendezvous. A rendezvous with the interplanetary transfer vehicle. Oh, damn it, damn it. Oh, I'm not paying attention. Oh, how did I miss it? Ha! Oh. It's okay. It's okay. That's just a little bit embarrassing. I'm watching the friggin' screen. I'm watching it tick down past 16, and I just totally space out and miss my burn window. Whatever. Oh, it's okay. Are we in? Nope, not quite. We'll just eyeball this. There we go. 73 by 70. Alright. So, it's going to take a few orbits for me to catch up with this damn thing now, though, unfortunately. So I'm going to stop recording and come back when I am in a position to do my intercept burn. And we're back. Okay, so I had to do about 5 orbits, but I finally got this intercept set up. You see, we're so close to our target orbit. or the orbit of our target, that we only have an 8 meter per second burn. I mean, that's nothing. I bet you the Kerbans could just about get out and push and get it that far. So that's coming up in just a minute or so. So we'll fast forward to it and try not to miss it again like an idiot. And this should just be on the order of a few seconds. I'm not even going to try to get an estimate on the burn. Alright. Yep, there we go. That was it. Didn't even get close to full throttle. Alright, so 1.5 kilometers. We'll fast forward to a little closer to that. See, it's already got us in our target position. We're so close to the damn thing. Get about a minute shy of it, and then switch back and try to get to our stable park orbit relative to the transfer vehicle. Alright, so we're going to get SAS back on. We're going to find our anti-velocity vector. And we're going to kill the speed off. Well, the relative speed. Effectively, we're altering our orbit to match that of the transfer vehicle. How are we doing on fuel? Ooh, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Should be able to do our full refuel. As long as I can preserve a little over half of this tank, we should be okay. Alright, sorry. Being quiet, I'm just trying to stay focused on this. Okay. Alright. Bingo. So now we're going to just do a quick burst to move ourselves towards the transfer vehicle. Try and close the distance. We're already sort of headed that direction, which is good. And that's about all we're looking to do. Line it up. Try to keep it lined up as we move, too. That'll help us be as efficient as possible. Just trying to get lined up. There we go. Yellow right on the pink. We don't want to get going too fast because it's going to be hard to turn around and slow down. So I'm going to make use of fast forward rather than using an awful lot of speed. Alright, so I'm going to turn this around. Well, actually, let's see if I can use the RCS to reliably slow this down. Because if I can do that, that'd be nice. So if I, yeah. Oh yeah, that slows it down pretty nicely. Oh, we better start doing that. Well, it's not going to be good enough. We're going to pass it. Let me make sure I miss it. Come on, baby. Come on, come on, come on. Slow down, slow down. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, Corbas. Ah, yeah, we're going to pass it. As long as I don't hit it, I'll be happy. Oh, man, it is dark. I cannot see it at all, and it's only 100 meters away. We were burning through a lot of monopropellant, but that's actually okay, because we're actually just using the stuff that's here. That's why I shut off this tank. And once we have docked, ooh, that's kind of cool. It kind of resolves out of the darkness there. Yeah, we went past her. Whoa. Okay, come on. Alright, there we go. That wasn't too bad. Could have been worse for sure. Look, I was afraid we were going to crash into it there for a second. So we're going to get turned around, we're going to get pointed. You know what, I'm just going to give us a quick burst towards it, and then I'll orient to the north, which is what we want to do to line up our docking ports. Although really, we could just turn this vehicle towards us. That might be the easiest thing to do. I think I'll go for that instead. That's going to be a lot easier all around. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay. So alright, so now the plan, I'm going to do this fairly quickly so they don't change orientations while I'm setting this up. So I'm going to point this Come on. Maneuver, damn you. Alright, so we're going to set that up pointed at the transfer vehicle. We're going to bounce over to the transfer vehicle. Find... Oh, where the hell is it? Oh, there we go. Wow, that's freaking hard to see, isn't it? Okay, so now we're gonna turn this. Actually, I'm gonna go the wrong way. Here, I want to control from there, and then point that directly over. Directly. Come on. Oh man, I'm oversteering like crazy. Just want you to settle in like that. All right, there we go. All right, now back to the lander. All right, so we're gonna set the Clampotron as our target and proceed with docking operations. Now at low speed, sometimes you see the nav ball gets a little twitchy like that. I don't know if there's anything to be done about it. That just might be a nature of the way we're calculating the velocities and all that of the vehicles. You know, there's a finite time period it calculates, whatever that is. And you can set that, I believe, from the menus, how often it recalculates orbits and things. But I believe that's what causes that to be jittery. For these docking operations, it'd be nice if it stayed super steady while you're doing it. Just because sometimes it's hard to tell exactly which way you are heading if it's really bouncing around. It looks like we'll have plenty of fuel to do a full refuel and save ourselves a launch. Which would also save us lots of Kerban dollars if we were, you know, actually using such things. That will eventually be added to the game, I'm sure. Budget, as it is a key element of a space program. And we want to get nice and lined up down the middle of this, because we do not want to stick this in such a way that will hit these engines that are right there. It should fit in there pretty nicely. This is fairly compact, but we don't want to come in at any kind of an angle, because it'd be a real shame to knock the engines off our transfer vehicle. Okay, alright, we're drifting a little bit. Alright, slowing it down, slowing it down. Alright, looking pretty good on the approach here. Fortunately, those engines with this adapter don't protrude much past. We shouldn't really even have to worry about hitting them too much now that I'm looking at it. Just move in nice and slow. Alright, looks like our angles might be slightly off here. Well, should be close enough to attach. Looking pretty good. Steady there, Kerbal. He's loving it. He's loving it. He's clearly trained by Jebediah. The Bill or Bob disciples would be freaking out right about now. And we have docking. Alright. Now we can do our fuel transfer. Which one of these was empty? Oh, hey, come on. Okay, I know the center one's empty. So let's send fuel over. Oh, Kerbal, look at him. He's so excited. He's so proud to have won that competition to see who gets to go on this mission. He had to promise Bob to bring back some nice red rocks for him, though. That was the price. Did we get that fully fueled? Yeah, we did. Okay. Thought for a moment there I might have cut it off just a second early. Okay. And we will soon be all set. It'd be nice if there were some shortcut buttons, you know, for quick transfer or auto balancing tanks or something like that. But if that's coming, it's definitely in a later edition. So I mean, it's not critical, but kind of nice to have. All right, so now that we got this put together, we're gonna auto save just so nothing stupid happens, and we are going to ditch our fueler once I'm sure that we're all set. Oh, okay. I do want to transfer some monopropellant, since the capsules now also hold monopropellant. So we want to transfer as much of that up as we can, just in case we need it. We might want to use a little bit even as we're approaching Duna. We shouldn't need a lot of it in order to do our actual docking in Duna orbit. It would be nice if we could use a little bit of it for interplanetary corrections, because RCS has a nice fine touch. Okay, that's still got full monopropellant. Oh, of course, because I said no RCS thrusters on it. We could use a little RCS thrusters on this to give us a little bit of a boost or a little bit of a drag to fine-tune our intercept. Although we may not need to do that, we'll see. But it's nice to have that option. So we want to have topped-off monopropellant. Alright, so this bad boy's full and ready to go. It's just time to get rid of this. As much as it might be nice to use this as a boost to kick us into our transfer burn, our Kerban escape, and then interplanetary transfer burn, I'm a little concerned about this joint and this one, so we're not going to take any chances. This stage should still be that disconnect, so we're going to get rid of it. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, and so forth. Alright, here we go. So here's our vehicle. This is what is going to go to Duna. Alright, so we're just going to set this bad boy back up, pointing north, just so that its solar panels will all get nice contact with the sun, and we're ready to go when the time comes. Oh, it would have been nice to get the ladders lined up with the ladder here, but oh well. I guess I could disconnect. I don't really feel like that's worth the effort at this point. So we're going to set up roughly northish, and we're going to go ahead and get... Whoa, what's with the wobbliness, guy? Stop that, it's making me nervous. Alright, so then we're going to get Corvus out. Turn on your light, so I think that'll help. And we're going to get you up into the command pod. Yeah. And you get to use a ladder most of the way. That's exactly why we put this here. Oh, we should have turned on the station lights first. Or the ship lights. Here, let's run a test of those while we're here. Ooh. See, that would have made it a lot easier to find and then climb that ladder. Oh well, so be it. Alright, so we're all set for the mission. Let's just go quick over here and we'll deorbit this guy. Which we will do simply by pointing to the anti-velocity vector, burning off the last of the fuel, and leaving the completed Duna vehicle in orbit. So yeah, I think we'll, so when I cut this off, I don't need to watch this whole thing descending. It just feels like the sort of thing that should be done. I think we'll save the Duna transfer mission, or the transfer burn and all that, for the next episode. You see, we are all ready to go. Alright, I'm done with you. Oh, okay, fine, we'll transfer here. So, until next time, I am Southern Wolverine here in orbit with Corbus Kerman, signing off.